Hello there and welcome to this week's edition of Creative Critique. Now the newest released cinematic film I went to see this week was the newest entry into the Rocky series of films, and that film was of course Creed. For those who are not too familiar with the Rocky series of films, I will quickly go into the relevance of the title of the film. The title refers to the main character, who is Adonis Creed, played by Michael B. Jordan, who is the son of one of Rocky Balboa's fiercest opponents and eventually greatest friends, Apollo Creed. So it's a kind of a spin-off movie from the franchise, if you will, from the series of films. So I will quickly now go into how the film begins. The film begins effectively with us seeing Adonis Creed, who is effectively going through a raft of foster homes, and is quite a troubled child. He is getting into fights all the time until Apollo Creed's... Now I'm got spoiler alert here. Stop watching if you've not watched the Rocky films. Apollo Creed's widow comes to visit him at the foster home in order to adopt him, or foster him, whichever one it is, and effectively raise him. So he's given a nice sort of upbringing, given Apollo Creed's rather financial now, so unfortunately he's left behind. So he's given a relatively comfortable upbringing, but he's given, yeah, I've already explained that a bit already, haven't I? But it's really, he's sort of in a job of, I can't remember what it is exactly. He works in an office. He clearly hates it, and decides, I want to pack this up, and I want to not particularly follow in the footsteps of his father, but do something that he himself loves, and that is of course boxing. So he upsticks out of LA. I think it's LA, isn't it? And he makes his way to Philadelphia. We all know Philadelphia is the home of Rocky Balboa. He effectively goes there because he can't seem to get anybody to train him because of it's seen as though he's a soft touch, because he's really just Apollo Creed light, if you will. And so he goes into Philly, goes to Mighty Mick's gym. After sort of going to see Rocky, who kind of refuses to train him because he feels that... Sorry, I'm losing my thread here. Really sorry about this. He has a little meeting in Rocky's restaurant, and he kind of refuses to train him. Because he says, that's it, I'm out the game now. I'm out the game. I'm done. I'm an old man, effectively. So he goes to Mighty Mick's gym, where he does a lot of training, and he's doing well at this gym, but he's not really progressing because there's no focus on him whatsoever. But he's persistent with Rocky, and eventually he does come to actually want to train him. Now, it goes without saying with this sort of film, it is full of trepidations regarding, particularly a boxing film. Boxing films are such standard film fare. They kind of follow a similar narrative, and because it's also coming off from a massive franchise like the Rocky films, this could have been an absolute disaster. And this could have been a cheesy film. This could have been full of problems and cliches. Yeah, and the nostalgia could have ruined it. But what I've got to do is take my hat off to the writers and the performers throughout the whole film. Because, now, admittedly, I am a bit of a Rocky fan. I'm admitting that really out of the 6 films, isn't there? The 2 first are very, very good films. The rest are kind of left up to your own interpretations in what sort of aspects you enjoy them. But in terms of the actual pure quality of the film, the first 2 Rocky films are really, really good films. And this is the nearest thing, and I think it's similar on a level in part, not ultimately, but in part, to those original films and what made that franchise so great. So, like I say, my hat has to go to the director, Ryan Coogler, the writer, Ryan Coogler, and Aaron Covington, and Michael B. Jordan as Adonis Creed. Because, like I just said, it could easily have been absolutely trapped within its own confines of a film series. Yet it embraces... what's the way of putting it? I think my initial reaction for coming out from seeing the film was, I was damn entertained. And it embraces the best aspects of what made the first two Rocky films, like I just said, so great. And does give it a little nice update for the current age and time. And like I said, huge credit had to go to Ryan Coogler, Michael B. Jordan, particularly Tessa Thompson, who is the supporting actress in this film, who was like a love interest for Michael B. Jordan. And she is fabulous. She is really, really good in this film. And considering the current controversy around the Oscars regarding Oscars so white sort of thing, this film, in my opinion, could have easily been included. It's a great, great film. Brilliantly directed, brilliantly written, greatly performed by Michael Jean. But Tessa Thompson is superb in her role, and I have absolutely no qualms if she was up for Best Supporting Actress at many awards, but she's not, which is very disappointing. But to go on to somebody who has been nominated for an Oscar is, yes, indeed, Sylvester Stallone. In a role that really comes with all the predictable trappings, yet he brings a warmth and a wit that reminds you of him at his best. It goes without saying that Stallone has a particular, as Liam Neeson would say, a particular set of skills as an actor. But this is exactly what he's really good at, and it's exactly what he made his name on. So, and let's face it, that trainer role in a film is just rife for awards, dialogue and material, and it's a brilliantly written character that reminds me. Many aspects of this film actually remind me, in part, of my recent viewing of, believe it or not, Star Wars: The Force Awakens, because it feels like a new interpretation of a film, but embracing its past. Its originality. So it embraces, like I say, those nostalgic tones, but gives it a bit of an update with new characters, which both films do. So this is not an unfair comparison, in my opinion. I think there's decent comparison to be made between the recent Star Wars and the recent Creed in the Rocky series. I think it's a very fair comparison. Like I said, it's performed greatly by Jordan and Tessa Thompson, and Stallone is worthy. He is worthy of the nomination. If he'd not been involved, if he'd not been nominated, people would have been saying things, but I also think he's really good in it. He's really, really enjoyable in this film. So, justified, in my opinion. Could have been doing with a bit more nominations from the other creative team, but yeah, there we go. Is it going to be something that people who have not watched Rocky films before should go in and watch? Yes, because like I just said regarding this recent Star Wars film, it's building up for a new audience. You can have knowledge of the previous films and the previous characters, but it's an enjoyable film in its own right, and therefore it's a great film. And I also watched The Revenant this week, and I really enjoyed The Revenant, but I felt I could talk about Creed more and in more enthusiasm in a way, because The Revenant's so bleak. But Creed is kind of it's just a character driven film, whereas Revenant is quite a one man film, if you will. So there's more to talk about with Creed, and it's a much more enjoyable film therefore, regarding the story and the characters involved. Great humour from Stallone, great interaction between Tessa Thompson and Michael B. Jordan. So just a great film, Creed. And way worthy of your attention, and it's getting it got a decent audience in America. It's only cost about $30 million to make, $30 million, and it's made triple that in. So it shows there's an appetite for that sort of film, which is great. So there we go. Creed was my theatrical release of the film of the week. Please seek it out in the UK. I know it's already been out in America at the end of last year, so yeah, there we go. Creed, my theatrical release film of the week. Now, my classic film of the week is a film that has absolutely no relevance at all. Sorry, I just realised I've done something. Any relevance at all to this film, and the film in question is Galaxy Quest. But the reason why I have watched it in part is due to the sad recent death of the great Alan Rickman, who brought us many memorable characters in film. Bad guys, good guys, gentlemen. But in this film, he's absolutely pure comic genius. The film, he also, I should say, stars alongside Sigourney Weaver and Tim Allen. Also Tony Shalhoub, Sam Rockwell, and Daryl Mitchell, who effectively play a cast of a popular science fiction TV series called Galaxy Quest. They are obviously the former actors of this series, which has been cancelled for quite a few years now, and they're doing the regular comic conventions and things like that, and geek conventions around the country, and earning a bit of money for it. But sort of, why is this film so great? Because it satirises that sort of... Now, I'm somebody who has been to these sort of comic events, and I'm not the massive biggest nerd in the world, but I can absolutely appreciate certain aspects of these conventions, and my word, do they absolutely satirise them brilliantly. Not only do they satirise that world of geekdom, but also the actual TV series itself and the actors involved in that sort of series. It's the perfect Star Trek spoof, effectively, isn't it? Tim Allen almost plays the captain. I have forgotten his name. Apologies. But he plays effectively the William Shatner sort of captain role. Sigourney Weaver, in a way, is sort of the Nichelle Nichols role, and Alan Rickman is in part playing the Leonard Nimoy sort of role. We've also support, like I say, from Tony Shalhoub and Daryl Mitchell. And eventually, Sam Rockwell, who effectively is somebody who played a very small part in the TV series, as like one of the red shirts, as it would be referred to in Star Trek. Crewman number 6, or something like that. But eventually gets involved with what happens with the crew. I'm not even really going to what the plot is, really. I'm just going on about what the film reveals the characters. So what's it happening? They're at a convention, and there's lots of obviously geeky things going on with people dressing up and sort of stuff. Then sort of this weird group of people come up to Tim Allen's character and says, "Oh, our planet's in trouble. We need help." And he's like, "Is this a gig? All right, send a limo. Send my limo down to my place tomorrow, and I'll come and do this gig." So they go off quite happy. He goes off, gets quite drunk, wakes up the next morning. They're there at his window, being quite weird. They take him in his limo. They're still acting quite weird. What it turns out to be, of course, is that they are actual aliens, and they actually need help fighting an actual evil alien warlord, and have actually viewed the show in what they perceive to be the historical documents of Earth, thinking that all the antics of the show are actually real. Brilliant. He then goes along with this because of his own ego, gets all his crewmates involved, takes them up to the ship, and what mayhem and comedic mayhem ensues. It's absolutely fabulous. Some of the quotes and some of the dialogue is absolutely insanely funny. It is ridiculously funny. Every single character has brilliant moments as well. So, like I say, I know obviously Tim Allen, Sigourney Weaver, and Alan Rickman are the three main leads, and rightly so, because they are the biggest name of the actors, and have a lot more, I want to say a lot more talent. That's maybe unfair, but they have a bit more nous. And my word, is Alan Rickman just absolutely fabulous as he's effectively he's almost in a way Patrick Stewart sort of role as well. That sort of guy who's come out of the theatre and he's doing a science fiction show and he kind of regrets every aspect of that part of his life, and he's just got such hatred for his own sort of having to do this constantly. Sigourney Weaver, just as effectively, considering we know her from the films like Aliens, where she's an absolute kick-ass science fiction heroine. The fact that her character in the TV show is effectively just female eye candy who actually repeats what the computer says is just wonderful. And like I say, Tim Allen's sort of spoofing really of William Shatner is just perfect. It is brilliant. Alan Rickman at certain points makes comments about the fact that every time he's in a fight he has to get his shirt off. Shatner in Star Trek, isn't it? Wonderful, wonderful role. Wonderful performances by all of them. Sam Rockwell as effectively because as they're going, obviously problems accrue. They realise they're way out their depth and want to get out of here. They can't. Problems ensue. They have to go to another planet, and there's a whole sort of sequence of them all going to the planet where Sam Rockwell is like, "I was only on the show for one episode. I should have stayed in the ship because I'm the guy who goes into the planet, and within 30 seconds dies. It's like, I don't even have a surname. What's my... Does anybody even know what my surname is? And I was like, no. No, nobody knows my surname. I'm gonna die. And he's absolutely wonderful. He's absolutely wonderfully funny in it because of that sort of aspect of the science fiction spoofing. Brilliant, Sam Rockwell. Brilliant. It's wonderful. So brilliant writing. Who's the writing by? Robert Gordon and David Howard. Fabulous writing. Greatly performed by Alan Weaver and Rickman. Great. It was originally a Harold Ramis film, and you can see those touches of sort of Ghostbusters in there, of spoofing sort of that sort of fantasy and science fiction sort of aspects of the film. Dean Parasite is the director here. Great job on the show. Great support work from, like I say, from Tony Shalhoub and Daryl Mitchell. Justin Long pops up as effectively the geek they have to get all the science fiction information out of regarding the aspects of their ship, because this race of aliens have designed their ship from the ship of the TV series. And who knows the ship better than geeks from that science fiction show? Tim Allen's in on the phone saying, right, what do we have to do? Where do we go? It's wonderful. It's an absolute peach of a comedy and spoof film. There's hardly been any better in the science fiction genre. I think it might be the best of... Yeah. Yes, it is. It's sort of. I think it's on the level of something like a Mel Brooks Blazing Saddles or Young Frankenstein. It's that sort of high quality of humour and performance. It's a fabulous, fabulous film, Galaxy Quest. Seek it out because, like I say, Sigourney Weaver, Tim Allen are greatly performed. The wonderful Alan Rickman, who sadly passed, is just on true comedic form, and it's just a fabulous, fabulous comedy film. Please seek it out. That was my classic film of the week. It is a rightly comedy classic. There we go. So that was my classic film of the week. My theatrical film of the week was Creed, the latest in the Rocky series of films. I thank you, for watching. Hope you do subscribe to me, and I do hope to see and speak to you again soon. Thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.